what time it is. From the hardwood to the field, it's game time. 915. Yeah. Borderland lights, city ready to ride. El Paso heat, we bring that pride. Coaches tall, players rise. Fans loud, we electrify. It's game time, 915. Turn the lights up high, where the real ones play and the stories come alive. Yeah, FSCN, where the game meets the story.
Welcome to 915. Folks, we've been preluding this during our FSCN dailies, but today we kick off the first episode of GameTime 915. Super excited about this. Now we get to focus strictly on high school sports, nothing but high school sports. We'll do this on Tuesdays and Fridays on game days. Game day 915. GameTime 915 on game days, definitely. So let's jump right into it. We want to start by sending a huge shout out. We want to congratulate the East Lake Lady Falcons on making it to the regional semifinals. They will take on Plano East today at 3 p.m. Central Time in the regional semifinal game. Congratulations to you Falcons on making it this far. We wish you guys good luck, and as always, continue to represent 915. Now, so congratulations to East Lake. Let's do it. Let's go there and let's get to the regional quarter. Let's advance. Let's advance, ladies. You got the whole city behind you. Now let's shift over to high school football as we close out the regular season and start to focus on the playoffs. Let's take a look at the standings real quick, as we did have some games last night, but we do have games going on today as well. So let's take a look at the standings. So Isleta has wrapped up their division. They got a game today, but they will go down as the undefeated champions. I don't think they'll lose tonight. This will be a perfect season for them. Congratulations to the Isleta Indians there. Riverside is now 6-2. They did lose, and Austin is 6-2. So we got a tie there. El Dorado has a game today. Well, no, they played yesterday and beat Parkland, so they finish up 6-0, 9-1, the number one seed in 1-5A, and should be hosting a first round game here in the Borderland. Congratulations to the Aztecs of El Dorado on punching their ticket and getting that top seed. Now, this is where all the drama begins, in my opinion. And I say drama, but it's not really drama, but there's a lot of different scenarios that could play out for sure here. So, Del Valle is done. Their regular season is over, so they don't play any more games. Andrews wins. They'll be hosting a first-round game. They'll have the number one seed. They'll host the first-round game. Chapin, win or loses, will be the third seed. If Chapin wins and Andrews loses, I think there's an outside chance that Chapin could be the number one seed. It's based off of points. I don't know what the points are right now. I need to figure out what the points are. That's my fault on that one. But I think Chapin still has an outside chance on being on being the number one seed and hosting a home game here in the Borderland, which would be crazy after the start of the season that they had, starting off 0-3. Everybody wrote them off. They got in district play, and them boys rolled. Congratulations there. But if Chapin and Andrews and El Paso, if Chapin, Andrews, and Del Valle if Chapin and Andrews win, there'll be a three-way tie. So there'll be a three-way split for the district championship, but Andrews would be the 1 seed, Del Valle would be the 2 seed, and Chapin would be the 3 seed, and that 4th seed would either be Hanks or Canutil. Okay, so, and in that scenario where Chapin and Andrews both win, Hanks would be the number 4 seed, and Hanks would be in the playoffs. Now, let's flip this thing around. If Andrews loses to Canutil and Chapin wins, there's a chance that Canutil could be in the playoffs. They would be tied with Hanks. So I think there's a chance that they could be in the playoffs. If Hanks wins, they're in. So if Hanks wins, they're in. King O'Teal needs a lot of help to get themselves a chance. But as it stands right now, Del Valle, Andrus, Chapin, all are in. And depending on how games go tonight, some upset victory. If there's an upset, then things could get real crazy. But I don't see any upsets happening. And so I think it's going to be Andrus hosting a home game. I think there's an outside chance that Del Valle might get a home game. And then Chapin would be on the road and Hanks would be on the road. And that's kind of how that scenario kind of works itself out. On the 6A side, well, they're all set. They know who they're playing. Eastwood High School, the number 1 seed, will host Friendship at 6 p.m. on Friday, November 14th at Eastwood. That we know for sure. Franklin, after their win against Pebble Hills yesterday, and that really was just for seeding, Franklin will travel to Midland to take on Midland Legacy at 7 p.m. So Franklin beat Pebble Hills last night 28-15. And they will travel to Midland to take on Midland Legacy at 7 p.m. Pebble Hills will travel to Odessa to take on San Angelo Central on Thursday, November 13th at 7 p.m. And then with their 55-44 win over Coronado last night, Eastlake punched their ticket into the playoffs, and they will travel to Odessa Permian on Friday, November 14th, to take on Odessa Permian at 7 p.m. And that's the 6A playoff picture. And so we're very clear on where they stand and how that works out. And, the 6A is clear, crystal clear. We won't have a picture of the 5A until later tonight. So on Monday during FSEN Daily, we will take a look at the playoffs, break that picture down, and put that information out for you guys so you know who's playing, where they're playing, who's got a home game, who doesn't, who's on the road, who isn't. So we'll put that out on Monday for sure. Let's take a look at the scoreboard for today, because there's a lot of games going on around the city still. As you can see, those are the 4 6A games from last night. We've got Isleta taking on Bowie. So number 5 Isleta taking on Bowie. Number 7 Andrus taking on King O'Teal. Number 8 Chapin taking on number 9 Hanks. Number 10 Riverside taking on Fabens. Now I want to take a look here at this 4A, 1-4A as well. So Isleta has secured their first district title since, I think it's 1995. It's 95 or 97. And they're going to host a first-round home game. And this will be their first ever perfect season in the history. I think it's 100 years in the history of this school. 100 years, they'll have their first ever perfect season. So congratulations to that coaching staff, the players, and administration there at Isleta. Riverside, if they win, they should. I think they'll be host. They'll be the second seed. Austin will be third. Now the 4th seed, Clint has to beat Irving, and that will potentially have a 3-way tie for the 4th spot if Fabens loses to Riverside. And then I think it may come down to a coin flip at that point. I'm not sure what the tiebreakers are at that level. I'm not sure, but there's going to be a 3-way tie. There's potentially a 3-way tie for the 4th seed, and it's probably going to come down to a coin flip or some tiebreakers for sure. But yeah, that's our quick and dirty on the football playoff picture. We're going to, I think we're going to take a break, y'all. Let me see. Let me see. Or do we just run all the way through this and jump into it? But I want to, bear with me here. I'm sorry. I thought I had my stuff together. Thought I had my life in order. But, yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. This segment of the Fieldhouse Sports and Entertainment Network is brought to you by Distilled Union. Designed to make everyday carry simpler. From shades to wallets, Distilled Union blends style and function. Slim, durable, built to last. For the way you live, work, and play. Shop Distilled Union with the code FSEN for 20% off and support local sports on FSEN.
What makes these shirts unique? Hypernatural created the first ever shirts made from jade stone and crab shells. Supreme natural comfort and cooling performance without harmful chemicals and plastic polyester. Elevate your wardrobe with shirts that perform, last, and are truly better by nature. Use promo code FSEN and receive 20% off your entire order.
Elevate your protein game with Clear Whey protein powder, lactose-free, sugar-free, and refreshingly delicious. Perfect for a flavorful protein-packed boost. Use promo code FSEN and get 20% off your entire order. That's Clear with a K.
OldGlory.com is the ultimate destination for officially licensed merchandise, offering over 300,000 items for music, sports, entertainment, and pop culture fans. Old Glory is your one-stop shop for iconic, high-quality merch that reflects your love for music, sports, and pop culture. Discover your perfect fan gear and save by visiting OldGlory.com today and using our exclusive discount code FSEN and get 15% off your entire order.
When it comes to your safety, good enough doesn't cut it. That's why you need the best work gloves. Bare knuckles, gloves for any job, anywhere.
All right, we're back. All right, so this is probably the most exciting time of the year for me because basketball starts up. And today is week 1 of the girls' high school basketball season. And there are a lot of games going on around the borderland. Let's take a look real quick at the scoreboard. Some matchups. Got number 1 Americas versus number 3 Franklin. Number 2 Montwood versus Hanks. Number 4 Chapin versus Del Valle. Number 5 Eastwood hosts Canutillo. Number 6 East Lake hosts number 10 El Paso High. Number 7 Burgess at Socorro. Number 8 Bel Air is at Mountain View. Number 9 Andrews is at Coronado. There's a lot of games, y'all. It's a lot of games. And we're super excited. So, week 1, game of the week for girls high school basketball, or game of the day, it's got to be number 1 Americas at number 3 Franklin. That's going to be some of the best talent here in the borderland on one court at one time. Guys, you can't. It's crazy. But really, the top 10 teams, there's a lot of talent. All those games I just said, a lot of talent going on. Montwood, talented. Chapin, talented. Eastwood, talented. Eastlake, talented. El Paso High, talented. Burgess, talented. Bel Air, talented. Andrews, talented. Even the teams that aren't ranked in the top 10, there's talent throughout the borderland. This is guard central, in my opinion. It's like a smorgasbord of guards and guard play here in the borderland. And so this really comes down to what you're looking for as a college coach. But America's High School versus Franklin, 7:30 p.m. tip-off at Franklin. That's the game. That's the game to be at, folks. That America's and Franklin, they're going to find out off the jump where they stand, and I just love it. I love it. I think it's awesome. It's great for basketball here in the borderland as we put some of the best talent out there. And there's some other games that's coming up in this before we get into district play. Man, it's going to be some good matchups. And we're going to know who's for real and who isn't. But hey, that's going to take us through the end of this episode of Game Time 915, episode 1. We'll be back on Tuesday to kick it off again and to keep this thing going. But thank you guys for your support. Be blessed. Have a good one. Get out and support some high school sports.